In this video, I'm going to walk you through what I believe are the 3 best consumer teleprompter options on the market today and make recommendations for which one you should buy based on your gear and your budget. Like microphones, cameras, and lights, we finally have cost-effective consumer and prosumer teleprompter options. And the great thing about teleprompters as a consumer is they're multi-purpose devices in a home studio or home office context. For example, I use my teleprompter to stream, do video podcasts, make these videos, and for video calls at work where I want to make eye contact. So I think they're great options both as like an additional display and a way to enhance how you connect and record yourself on camera. Now, before I jump into my 3 recommendations, I just want to say your camera is an important detail here. If you're watching this video, you may have a camera already, but what camera and lens you have is a very important factor in the decision you make on a teleprompter, so just pay attention to that nuance. If you don't own a camera, I recommend the Sony 6000 mirrorless series camera with an Elgato capture card. If you can afford it, that's what I'm using right now, but there are other great ones out there. Speaking of which, there are no sponsors for this video. That said, I do have affiliate links below to Amazon. If you decide to buy any of these products, go ahead and use my link so I can make a couple bucks. Let's get into it. First, I want to walk you through the premium option. This is the best setup that I've found. This is what I personally use in my home office. It consists of a Glide Gear TMP 100 teleprompter housing, a monitor called the Lilliput monitor that supports horizontal flipping of the picture, and a camera mount, okay? What's great about this setup? This setup supports a very wide lens. I have a 14 to 16 millimeter lens that I traditionally use, and it supports a very large monitor size. I've got about an 11-inch monitor crammed in here. I think it supports up to a 12-inch monitor actually, which is ideal for those who maybe have trouble seeing small text or images far away. Another reason why I chose this setup is because it is 0 software, and it effectively works like an additional monitor because of that horizontal flip function that the Lilliput monitor supports. Because in a teleprompter, the screen itself that you're looking at is actually a mirror. It's a reflection of the monitor that you have set up connected to the teleprompter. So what that really means is everything will show up backwards. So you have to have a screen that supports showing the picture backwards. So when the mirror flips it, it looks just like a normal additional screen. This is why I'm such a big fan of the Lilliput monitor in this particular setup. It does support a very simple horizontal flip function that's being done in hardware, not in software. And so it makes it very easy to set up and get working. One more thing I love about this particular setup is the mount itself. The mount comes with a ball joint, and the mount also extends below my desk. So my desk is right up against the wall, so I can't put a tripod behind my desk. I actually need my camera and teleprompter to be mounted to the desk itself. So the ball mount and the ability to extend it beyond the desk gives me full flexibility for where I can position the camera, which is very important because I had an older Elgato mount that actually put the camera probably 6 inches too high versus right now where it's almost perfectly eye level and makes my room look much larger than it actually is. I think this is the best option for somebody with a wide angle lens that's wider than 20 millimeters and for somebody who really values having a big monitor, but it is $600 and a little bit bulky, which is why I'm excited to tell you about this second option. It's a brand new teleprompter that just launched. It's actually just available for pre-order now. It's called the Elgato Prompter. I think this is what most people should buy because this is a $279 all-in-one device that includes the housing and the screen, as well as the management software to flip the screen and do different things with the teleprompter itself. The one caveat here is Elgato says this can only support up to a 22 millimeter focal length lens, which is why I'm not switching this option right now because I have a 16 millimeter lens, which wouldn't work. But if you have, if your lens is 20 millimeters or greater, it should work in this housing. In fact, if you're going to buy this, I suggest checking out the Elgato compatibility checker to ensure that your camera will actually fit within the Elgato Prompter housing. I guess the one other thing is that it is a 9-inch screen that's built into this device and you can't change the screen out. But outside of that, I mean, it's $279 for the whole kit and caboodle. You do still need to buy a mount, and you do still need a camera to put in the housing, but it supports both consumer and prosumer cams, and it runs off of a single cable, I believe a USB-C cable to be specific, that plugs into your machine. Another great benefit is if you're an Elgato fan, which I personally am somewhat of an Elgato fan. Looking around my office, I have 4 or 5 different pieces of Elgato gear. So this easily integrates with the Elgato ecosystem, which really what I mean by that is the Stream Deck, which is a popular tool that I don't use, but a lot of people use. Now, this would be my choice if it supported that 16 milliliter lens, but it's what I'm going to recommend to most people that know they don't have some restriction around the camera, or for those people who know that they don't need a slightly larger monitor than the 9-inch monitor that comes with the Elgato Prompter. But what if $279 is still a little bit outside of your price range? Well, don't worry. I have one other budget option that a dear friend of mine uses, and this person is actually a developer advocate at AWS and uses this every day to record content. This option is the T2 or T3 Desk View Prompter, and it comes in at a $80 price point. Now, this is not a premium option. It is definitely a budget option. Basically what it is, as you can see in this picture, it's like a housing that mounts onto the front of a pro camera. And then you would usually pair it with an iPhone, iPad, some kind of tablet or iPhone to run the app that you want to cast onto the prompter screen itself. I've used this option before with an iPad where I would AirPlay to the iPad. And I just gotta tell you, it doesn't always work. It can be a little kludgy, but it's a big but. You are going to save almost $200 when compared to that Elgato option that I pointed out a second ago. So that might be worth it to some people. You just keep in mind, you can't really fully utilize this as an extra screen without some sort of kludgy third-party apps to flip the monitor or some other option like that. So I think it's probably great for people who just need basic text, or maybe they want to dial into a Zoom meeting on their phone or iPad so they can make eye contact. I think that might work, but if you're doing a lot of presentations or you really want to use your teleprompter as an additional monitor, I would not go with this option. But if you're strapped for cash and you just need this for some basic quick and dirty recording, I think this is a solid option for folks who have a camera that you can mount this type of teleprompter to. You could probably guess already, but my final verdict here, my recommendation is buy the Elgato Prompter unless you have a very wide lens that it doesn't support. That means a number less than 20 millimeters, or you just want the biggest possible monitor that you can get in your teleprompter, in which case the Elgato 9-inch might cut it for you. But if you factor in the cost of a mount, the Elgato option is coming in still almost $130 less than the kit that I've built. So for cost-conscious folks who want a simple integrated device, Elgato's the winner. For folks like me who are willing to pay for that little bit extra, I think my custom setup is one of the best you can get. If you choose to buy any of these, use my affiliate links below. I've never used the affiliate program, this experiment, and I hope this was helpful. If you have other teleprompter questions or suggestions, post in the comments, heck, throw an emoji down there for engagement if you feel like it. Until next time, subscribe, take it easy. Bye.